I don't know what my live is doing. I'm assuming we're live. Right, good morning. And my camera's so fuzzy. I'm gonna have to get a webcam really because this camera is terrible. Okay, so good morning. Welcome to this week's Wednesday live. I hope you're all having a good week. And yeah, I'm really excited to share with you what I have this morning. Is really, really juicy. It's really, really important, and it's really, really simple. So I'm probably going to end up talking for a while just to get across one main significant point, one tip. My best tip ever that I cannot stress enough is the one that the guidepost for your spiritual journey, right? So listen closely. I'm going to begin with a quote. I do not know who said it. I cannot find it. I'm not sure if it's an actual quote on its own. I think it might be a modernization of an old quote that doesn't really make much sense. But it says, "The truth can't be told. It has to be realized. The truth can't be told. It has to be realized." Now, before I go too deeply into this, I'm just going to share with you a bit about my journey to explain what I mean about everything that I'm sharing with you this morning. So when I was a child, I had a fairy tale childhood, right? First 10 years of my life were just pure bliss. I was just frolicking around in the garden with the fairies, making spells out of mud and herbs and leaves and flowers, and mixing magical potions and running around woodlands, playing, locking myself in the basement with my broomstick, pretending I'm a witch, pretending, right? So much of my childhood was about experiencing the world around me, experiencing nature, experiencing the seasons, experiencing Mother Earth, experiencing myself and my imagination and all of the things that my imagination taught me. Then teenage years took over, dark nights of the soul happened, blah, blah, blah. Then when I had my spiritual awakening at university in my early 20s, I spent the first 3 years of my spiritual awakening in full embodiment of my spiritual journey, right? I was experiencing it all. There was no guru Google, there was no reading, like buying all these books, there was no TED Talks, there was no podcast, there was no nothing. There was just me, my experiences, my journey, and a few philosophical conversations with some friends who were also going through a spiritual awakening. So the first three years of my spiritual journey was everything I discovered, all the foundations of my spiritual beliefs came from experience. They came from myself, they came from my inner knowing, they came from my higher self, they came from the cosmos, the universe, and they came from Mother Earth and the nature around me. So all of the foundations of my entire belief system, everything I believe about spirituality, about souls, about energy, about the universe, about reincarnation, soul contracts, spirit guides, everything that I believe was all formed through my own experience with the world around me, with what my inner knowing told me, with what my higher self told me, and what Mother Nature told me. Everything I learned at the beginning of my journey, none of it came from other gurus, none of it came from Google, none of it came from books, none of it came from podcasts, none of it came from TED Talks, none of it came from social media, none of it came from teachers. It all came from me, my own experiences, and the universe itself. And this is the message I want to get across to you, is that the most trusted advisor that you'll ever have is yourself and the universe. Yourself, your higher self, your inner self, the cosmos, the universe, Mother Nature, your experiences, whatever you want to call it. those are your greatest teachers. Those are your greatest advisors. And they are the ones that will tell you how it is. They will tell you the truth, and they will tell you the truth that you need to know. And this is why the truth can't be told. You can't have the truth told to you. I can sit here and I can tell you exactly how it is. I can tell you how the universe works. I can tell you how energy works. I can tell you how spirit guides work. And I can tell you how soul contracts work. I can explain to you all about reincarnation, all about magic. But you don't realize it until you experience it for yourself. It will just be this external concept and this external theory until you have realized it within your body, your being, and your soul, right? So before you check in with Guru Google, before you check in with an external source, it's so important to always check in with yourself first. Does this resonate with me? Does this sit right with me? How is my body feeling about this concept, this principle, this theory, this thing, whatever it is you're talking about? And when you solidify your relationship with yourself, that comes back to self-love, leading on to self-acceptance, leading on to self-trust, leading on to trusting the universe. Once you solidify your relationship with yourself, your inner self, your higher self, and the world around you, then when you're learning things from books and Google and TED Talks and podcasts and other spiritual teachers like me, when you're learning from me, you can then sit there and discern whether or not this is something for you to take on board or whether it's for something for you to leave. Right. So out of all of the things that I share with you, that I teach you, that I give you insights on, it's unlikely that you'll take 100% of it. It's unlikely that 100% of it will resonate with you deep inside, right? But the the more you have a solid relationship with yourself and a solid relationship with what is right and wrong for you, you're able to discern whether or not to take this information from me. So it's almost like you have a little landing spot on your chest, on your gut, wherever it lands for you. And the world is shooting information at you, and you either absorb it because it resonates or it bounces off because it doesn't and it's not for you. So one of the things I've loved to do in my spiritual journey is learn all about all the different religions. Learning more about Christianity and the Bible after having rejected it, being brought up in a Christian society. I was like, no, I don't like Christianity. I don't believe in Jesus. Screw you and your father and your masculine bullshit. I was like, no. But then relearning about all of that from a new perspective was amazing. Living and spending 2 years in Asia, learning about Buddhism and Hinduism, also amazing. Loved it. There's great many insights I found from the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know about anyone else, but I love that book. And also spent a lot of time in Latin America, learning about Incas and Aztecs and Native American religions. And I love all the different religions, but none of them are 100% for me. None of them are 100% for me. I take little bits from all of them, and I've taken them and I've created my own Bella religion, right? And that's one of the things I want to encourage you guys to do, is to take all of the bits of information from the world around you, all these little pockets of insight that resonate with you, and stick them all together to create the belief system that resonates most with you. And the scary thing about this is that your belief system will likely be 100% unique to you, which means that you are rarely ever going to agree 100% with another human being. And that can be scary because people want to connect and have things in common and similarities, which you will do, but not for 100%. And that's a great thing, because then you get challenged, you learn different viewpoints, different perspectives, you learn things you never knew, you see things from different angles that you never even considered before. And that's fantastic. One of the things I like to call myself a collector of perspectives, because I really like to see everyone else's perspectives, particularly ones that are so vastly different from my own, because I'm fascinated. I'm like, how did you get there? Like, how did you get there and I get here? Like, this is so interesting. But then one of the things that fascinates me even more than that is the fact that if I got to this point by myself through my own experiences and my own intuition, and you got to that point yourself through your own experiences and your own intuition, and then this other person got to that same point and that same discovery through their own intuition and experiences, that's kind of proof that that point is like, it's more valid, it has more substance to it. So it's more likely that point is true, right? So when I listen to some of my spiritual teachers and some of the TED Talks I like and some of the coaches that I resonate with most, and they're talking about some profound spiritual concept that I've known for years because I discovered it on my own, I'm like, shit, you discovered that too. You're telling me that this thing is real that I discovered on my own. The universe told me this, and now you're telling me this because the universe told you that. It has to be real. That has to be how things are, because we all discovered it through the universe on our own. And then suddenly that's when that quote, the truth can't be told, it has to be realized. That's when that becomes so profound, because you can be told something all day long, but if you haven't experienced it for yourself, what does it mean? You know, it's just it's external, and as soon as it becomes internal, it's like, whoa, shit, this is great. So really solidifying that relationship with yourself, really connecting in with your internal world of your higher self and that divine connection with the cosmos and the universe, it will really, really help you discern what's right, what's wrong, what's truth, what's false, what resonates with you. And what's true for you might not be true for someone else. So we don't want to get into like this preaching mode of like, well, this is my truth, therefore your truth must be wrong. Everyone has their own little world, right? Their own little bubble, their own little religion. So we're just concerned with our own little bubble and our own little religion, right? But once you get to that place of really solidifying that relationship with yourself, you are no longer susceptible to brainwashing, to cults, to being taken advantage of, to being led blindly down a path that is not for you. You are no longer susceptible to any of these things. Because, so if you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, you're scrolling away, and things are catching your mind, catching your eye, or they're passing you by, whatever's going on, you know, you catch something, you read it, and it's completely not for you. It's gone. Don't care, not for me, doesn't resonate, goodbye. Oh, oh, I believe that resonates with me. And like your intuition is telling you this thing is for me. So you read a bit more. If that resonates, you read a bit more. If that resonates, you know, maybe you click on a link or whatever. That is you discerning what's for you and what isn't for you. You know, you see something racist come up, not for me. Maybe even you unfollow that person. Something sexist comes up, not for me. Maybe you even unfollow that person. Something that's like too heavily political in the wrong direction for you, not for me, goodbye. So solidifying this relationship and connecting into your internal world, your higher self and the cosmos, it really helps you to avoid being led down dodgy, dangerous, silly paths. You know, there was, when I was living in Thailand, there was a lot of cases of sexual misconduct through some different types of healing modalities, kundalini type healing stuff, you know, when people are doing work around the sacral chakra, and maybe people are naked and maybe people are in very vulnerable situations. For me, I discern that I'm not gonna get myself naked in front of some guru man who says he's gonna heal my vagina. Like, I'm not gonna let myself get into that situation, because I know, I've discerned through my belief system that that's not, you know, that's a dangerous situation. That's not right. I can probably heal my sacral chakra myself or with my clothes on, right? So it helps to avoid these situations. It also helps you stay in integrity with yourself. I remember I remember being in a spiritual community once and just having like these philosophical chats and debates with people. And there's one guy said this what seemed like a really profound statement that was like, someone was talking about talking too much and how they wanted to listen more. And he was like, well, if you think about it, speaking is just another form of listening, and listening is just another form of speaking. And everyone was like, wow, dude, that is so profound. My mind is blown. And I sat there for a minute and I contemplated this statement. Listening is the same as talking, and talking is the same as listening. And I burst out laughing. I burst out laughing, and everyone was like, what's going on? Why is she laughing? I was like, that is utter bullshit. I'm not taking that. That's not for me. I don't like that. That's a load of crap. I'm out. These are just ever so small examples about when it really helps you to go, I call BS here. Like, if you want to take that and that helps you, be my guest. But I'm going to go this way. So all of what I'm talking about, it teaches you individuality, it teaches you integrity, authenticity, it helps you have confidence in your own beliefs and the foundation of your belief system and how to build that up. And it all starts with experience, experiencing the world around you, experiencing magic, experiencing connecting inwards and upwards to your higher self, to your inner self, to the cosmos, to the universe, to the divine. Experience is the best teacher that you're going to find. You are the best teacher you're going to find. And I realize I'm saying this as I'm teaching things to you. So like the irony has not passed me by. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't Google things, that you shouldn't read books, that you shouldn't listen to people like me, that you shouldn't guru Google, that you shouldn't listen to podcasts and TED Talks, because learning is a great thing. Never stop learning, never stop being a student of the universe. But without these experiences and this connection internally, you will be unable to discern what's right and what's wrong for you, what resonates and what doesn't. And you'll just end up absorbing all of these things that don't speak to you, that don't resonate with you, that are not right for you, and that maybe even contradict each other a lot. So I mean, I'm down with a bit of contradiction. I have some contradictory beliefs myself, and I quite love it. It's really exciting. I'm like, oh, I believe this and I believe this, but both things can't be true, surely. And I don't necessarily need to find an answer. I'm like, I'm ready to see if these unfold, and if I don't find the answer until I'm dead and I pass over to, back to the spirit world, then that's okay too. So I hope this is making sense. I realize I may have been speaking quite fast because I'm really excited and really enthusiastic about this particular tip. Experience was what changed my life. Experience and getting the answers for myself was the best thing that ever happened to my spiritual journey. And I just really want to give that to you. So I've just noticed that I'm not getting any comments. So I've just seen on the group that I have, oh, good morning. Good morning, Kayla. Lovely to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you need anything clarifying, if this resonates with you. If you've discerned that this doesn't resonate with you, great. You're wrong, but I'm joking. Yeah. Discern if does this resonate with you? Have you had experiences that have really solidified that foundation of your belief system, of your spiritual journey, that have really helped you along the way? Or perhaps you got into your spiritual journey in a way that you were constantly being bombarded with other people's beliefs, and that really disrupted you from learning for yourself. And have a think about how you can get out there and really experience this for yourself, and how you can sort of connect into your own higher self and awaken that intuition within. If that's something you're interested in, I do have a course starting on Monday, Awaken Your Inner Mystic. If you want to get support and tapping into your own intuition and really awakening that inner connection with yourself, then take a look at the course. But otherwise, just hanging around in this community and soaking up all the juicy free stuff will help you do that as well. And feel free to ask your questions in the group, share your experiences, ask, if you really want to do more of this experiencing and is connecting to your higher self, but you're unsure about where to start. Ask the questions. There are no silly questions. I love silly questions. I ask silly questions because I'm a silly person. So if you have a question and you want to ask it, just ask it. There's no judgment. There's no like, oh, well, you should already know that by now. No. How do you know something unless you know it, right? You don't know something until you know something. So there's no need to be embarrassed or ashamed of not knowing something. Ask the question and then you'll know it, hopefully. So I hope this has made sense. Please ask your questions. Okay, so Karen. Oh, good morning, Karen. Good morning, Tess. Karen saying, it is best to form your own opinions. Completely agree. Yes, exactly. Otherwise, you just become a sheep. You just become a sheep and you follow the crowd. And I'm assuming that if anyone's in this community, you're in the spiritual world, and that's because you've discerned that you don't want to be a sheep. You don't want to follow the crowd. If you were a sheep and you were following the crowd, you'd be out there in the mainstream community, in one of the mainstream religions, in one of the mainstream, jobs and worlds and stuff, and you wouldn't be looking to enlighten yourself and join the spiritual journey. So Karen's saying what you've just described with disruptions rings true with me, but this is where boundaries and being willing to modify your opinion belief, doesn't it? I'm going to have to read that again. What you've just described with disruptions rings true with me, but this is where boundaries and being willing to modify your opinion belief. Well, being willing to modify your opinion belief, so only modify your opinions and beliefs you've if you've learned new information that has changed your opinions and beliefs. So, or never be married to opinions and that was terribly worded, sorry. I think I'm getting into it, but if you want to reword it, then go for it, and then I might be able to give a different answer. But yes, we are constantly learning new information every day, all day, every week, every month. We're constantly absorbing new information. So we have to be open and available and willing to change and adjust our opinions and our beliefs as we go. We don't want to be married to them. We don't want to be rigid. Otherwise, there's no room for open-mindedness, which is one of the basic principles of all spirituality, really, isn't it? Is open-minded and willing to grow. So you have a belief, you learn a new piece of information. Does this belief still stand for me? Yes, no, move on accordingly. Boundaries. I mean, this whole spiel that I've been banging on about this morning, this will definitely help with boundaries, because it helps you build this foundation, these foundations of your belief system, which therefore when people come in and they disagree with you, have a nice debate by all means, or they overstep your boundaries, but your boundaries there, you've discerned that's your boundaries, and you're like, this is not okay for me. So you're more able to confidently go, this person has overstepped my boundaries, and react accordingly in integrity with yourself. So Tess is saying yes, resonating. Thank you, Bella. Amazing. I'm glad it's resonating. I just see if there's any more comments. I do hate it when the comments don't come up properly on the stream, but okay, so I don't think there's any more comments. But if you're watching this on the replay and you have any comments, just pop them in and I'll try and answer them. So Karen's saying, I think one thing that is hard is when people you value negatively judge you for your beliefs. Yeah, that is really tough. But we're all individuals, and if you value them, you obviously you value them, you love them, you value them for who they are, and who they are is someone who perhaps doesn't agree with your beliefs. So either you can enter into a loving conversation, a loving debate, a loving discussion around your different beliefs and just agree to disagree and still love them anyway. But if they're negatively judging you, that is really hard. But that's also likely because you're triggering them, right? If someone is negatively judging something, it's because something about that stimuli has triggered something in them. So if you're over here, you're in integrity, you have a strong belief system, you know all these things, you're living this great life most of the time, perhaps, you're living this magical life, perhaps, and then someone else is like, this looks great, but I can't have this, or this person looks happier than me, or this person looks like they're having a better time than me, or this person looks like they're stronger than me, more confident than me. As soon as things like that, then that's when the negative judgment comes in. So perhaps you're just triggering something in them by having these strong beliefs. And so then just send them love, because if someone's having judgment, then obviously it's not a great thing for them. So just send them love, send them blessings, and that's their journey, that's their path, right? So it's coming back to standing in your truth, standing in your integrity, standing firmly on your foundations, knowing that it doesn't matter if you're judging my beliefs. I know that this is real. Like, I've experienced this shit, right? So then it becomes easier if you have some beliefs, but you like they're half-assed beliefs because someone's told you them and you haven't realized them yourself. Then you're kind of like loosely holding on to them, but someone could tug them away real easily. But when you're firm in your beliefs because you've experienced them, because you've learned it and embodied it from your higher self, your inner self, the universe, the cosmos, nature, the divine, Gaia, because you've learned it from that, you're holding on to those beliefs. Like, you're not even holding on to them, they're inside you. Like, people can't take something out from inside you, where as opposed to just like, I'm kind of holding on to this bit of string, like it's kind of a belief, I'm not really sure about it yet, I haven't integrated it yet. But when it's like fully in your being, no one can shake that, no one can take it away, no one can move it except you, because you've learnt new information and you've decided it's time to mix things up and change the ingredients because you've decided you want a different meal. That was a weird metaphor, I don't know where that came from. Right, so I'm just going to refresh my page to see if there's any more comments before I wrap this up. No more comments I can see, so I'm going to wrap it up now. So the essence of this is the truth can't be told, it has to be realized. Go out there, live experiences, have experiences with magic, with the world, with nature, with yourself. Tune in, go inwards to go upwards, connect to the divine. You have all the answers. You are your best teacher. Experience is your best teacher. Your inner self is your best teacher. You are the most trusted advisor you will ever have. And this will all help you to avoid brainwashing, cults, being blindly led down paths that are not for you, and being taken advantage of as well. So beware of Guru Google and beware of everyone else's opinions and experiences, and go and live your own experiences. So I hope you've enjoyed this live this morning. I've really enjoyed teaching this and explaining this because it's something that I feel so passionately about, and I'm so glad I spent the first 3 years of my spiritual life running around naked in woods, talking to trees and flying with fairies, because they taught me great lessons. And it's why I'm so firm in my beliefs and so firm in my being and my spirituality, because I know this stuff is real. I know it in my bones, in my soul, in my essence, in my core. I've had proof along the way. If you want proof, by all means ask the universe for proof. When I first got into this spiritual journey, I was at university studying a Bachelor of Science in Wildlife Conservation. And I said to the universe quite plainly, I was like, you made me a scientist. You made me a very practical, logical, rational person. So if you want me on this journey, on this weird woo-woo journey of yours, this intangible journey that I cannot put into a graph, if you want me on this journey, you're going to have to give me some proof. You made me like this, so give me the proof. Boy, did the universe give me the proof. He gave me the proof so hard, I was like, I've had enough proof. Thank you very much. I've had enough proof. And that was about 8-9 years ago. I've never asked for proof since, until a few weeks ago, because I was doing something new and I was like, I'm going to need proof this worked because I need to know that I've integrated it. And an hour later, I got the proof I needed. So if you want proof, ask for proof. They're not just going to give it to you without you asking, right? But the proof can be a little scary. So just bear that in mind. Just bear that in mind. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I'm excited to share more tips like this with you. So much love and infinite blessings from me. And I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.